Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today we're going to talk a little bit more about performing magic in a restaurant. Hello my friends, and welcome back to another episode of Advice for Magicians, where my job is to make you the best possible entertainers that you can be. Now, a while back, like 3 or 4 years ago or so, I put out a series of videos called How to Perform Magic in a Restaurant, and it was Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. Now today's episode, I wanted to kind of expand a little bit on some of the things that I have come up with over the years on top of the things that I've talked about in those videos. So if you haven't already watched those videos, after you're done watching this one, I highly recommend you guys go back and check out those videos. In Volume 1, I talk about how to go to different restaurant venues, how to try to find a gig, how to approach the restaurant, and all that stuff. In Volume 2, I talk about what to say and how to encourage and convince the manager to have you in the restaurant, the actual one-on-one that you're going to have with them. And then in Part 3, I talk about what you're actually going to do when you have the gig and you're performing in the restaurant, how to put your act together, the way that you have to deal with all the different situations that come up, dealing with the waiters and all of that stuff. So I talk about all of that in those videos. Now, you don't have to have any knowledge of that stuff to understand what I'm going to talk about in this video, but again, I encourage you guys to go check those videos out after this one if you haven't already done so. They're some of the most popular videos on my channel, and you guys seem to have really liked them, so I thought, why not? Let's talk a little bit more about restaurant magic stuff. Since restaurant magic and walk around magic is sort of my thing, I thought it would be really cool to discuss that with you guys. All right, so before we do that, I just wanted to thank all of you guys who continue to watch, like, and share my videos. It's because of you guys that my channel has the success that it does, and it allows me to spread the word to other people who are in the same position, who want to improve on their magic, or who have questions. So please feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. Let me know if you guys have any questions about anything. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And if you're enjoying this content, don't be shy. Go ahead and click the subscribe button so you guys can get more videos just like this showing up in your recommended list on your YouTube channel. All right, now that all of that stuff and all of the long introduction is out of the way, let's dive right into the content of this video. The first thing that I wanted to talk about with you is alternate things that you can do that are restaurant magic related that don't necessarily require you to have a restaurant gig every week, right? Because I've had a few people say, you know, it's really cool having like a steady restaurant gig, but working for like $50 an hour doing walk around, you know, every Monday, for me, it's not necessarily ideal. I want to be able to maximize my time. I want to maximize my profits, all that stuff. First of all, for the people that say that, the $100 a night that you're making in wages, right, assuming you're going to be making tips and all that, let's say it's like $150. The $150 that you're going to be making for that 2 or 3 hours a night that you're working doing the restaurant magic, it doesn't end there when it comes to the wages that you would get. You want to maximize that time as well to do some advertising, some promotion for yourself, handing out business cards, letting people know, yes, I'm a professional magician that you can hire. I can come, you enjoyed this at your table, I can come to your event and I can do this at your event. Company holiday parties right around the corner. Look at this, I'm walking around, I'm going from table to table. Well, you're gonna have a dinner banquet thing for the, you know, award ceremony or whatever your company's putting on for the end of the year. I can walk around and I can do the same thing, you know. Here's my card, pass my card along to, you know, the owner of your company or the CEO or whoever is in charge of planning events, and let them know that you can hire me for your event. And you saw me perform, you can be the person, right? And of course, right now I'm talking to the customer. You could be the person that lets them know how awesome it was, and I'll be more than happy to come in and do a little demo for your CEO or whoever the person is gonna hire me, right? So you're doing some advertising directly to the customers, and you will book some gigs off of that. It's just an extra form of, you know, advertising yourself. It's one-on-one direct marketing that you're doing while you're performing. And your performance at the table is essentially your demo for the services that you offer. And of course, when you get them on the phone and all that, you can go into more details with them so that they can understand all the different services that you provide, what it is that you're going to do for their event specifically, and all of that stuff, right? So you don't have to do that right at the table. You get them on the phone and you can discuss that stuff with them, or you can set up a one-on-one meeting with them, or however you do your sales marketing stuff, you can set that up after you've handed out your card and all of that stuff. Now, the other thing that I like to take advantage of when I'm working restaurants is getting reviews, photos, videos, and just testimonials from the people that I'm performing at the table, right? Whether it be a quick video saying, hey, what did you think of the magic? And then they say something really cool. And then you give that video to the restaurant manager, and then the restaurant manager puts it on their social media, or you use it on your social media or as part of your advertising campaign. You're getting videos of you performing, little short clips, maybe 30-second to a minute long clips of you performing in the restaurant, and you can put those on your social media or use them as part of your advertising. And then another thing that I like to do, sometimes I'll even turn tips down. I'll say, you know what? Why don't you give your tip to the server? What I would really appreciate instead is maybe you take a photo with me, right? And we can get in, we can take like a selfie. And I say, here's my website. Can you go to my website and maybe leave like a 3 or 4 sentence, comment about how much you appreciated my magic, and you can even post that photo right there on my Yelp or my Google reviews or whatever. That'll help me out a ton, right? Because the more reviews you can generate as well, the more engagement you're going to get from Yelp or Google or Gig Salad or whatever platform you're using to advertise yourself for your reviews. You get more engagement on those. And if you get a photo of you actually there and like a 3 or 4 sentence review telling how awesome it was, Michael came to our table, he was so personable, the magic was super awesome, and on top of all that, he even let us, keep the signed card or whatever it was, the little gift that you give them at their table. If you're doing balloon to minimals or whatever that trick is, he left a little balloon dog at the table for my daughter and she absolutely loved it, or whatever, right? Those reviews and those testimonials are gonna have a lot more weight than a 5-star review that says, Michael's great, right? Because people are reading all of these, they're seeing pictures, and they're understanding like, wow, this guy's pretty good. Maybe I should give him a call and find out what his rates are and what services he has to offer. So all of this stuff is the things that you're doing in that moment, that 3 or 4 minutes that you have at that table while you're performing for that customer, right? You're doing all of these other things as well. So really, if you're just going and you're just collecting your $50 an hour and you're leaving and you're not doing any of this stuff, you are leaving money on the table. Maybe not literally, but figuratively, because these are gigs that you guys could be booking on top of that. Now, another thing that I highly recommend that you do is when you're talking to these restaurants, especially if it's a high-end restaurant or a restaurant with like a banquet space or some space that people can rent out, have a discussion with the manager and let them know, you can hire me for one-offs as well, right? Maybe you don't want me here every Monday. That's totally fine. If you don't think a restaurant magician is something that you guys want to pay for, I completely get it. But here's my information anyway. Whenever you guys rent out the space, all you have to do is just let them know, when you rent the space for an additional fee, I can have a magician come in here and work in this space for your guests in this private area, right? And basically what they'll do is they'll call me and they'll say, hey Michael, I have a event coming up and I wanted to know if you're available for it. They will book me, let's just say for the 3 hours that they want me there, I'm gonna charge them $1,200, and then they'll charge like $1,500 or $2,000 or whatever it is to the client to have that extra bit of magic in their thing, right? So there's a restaurant that I work with. It's a very high-end whiskey bar. They have all kinds of whiskeys and spirits and high-end food. It's a 5-star restaurant, a really expensive place. It's like $30,000 or $40,000 to rent out the restaurant for like 6 hours or whatever, right? And they are a regular client of mine. Or should I say I am their magician, right? I'm the one that they call when they need a magician, and I've done like 8 or 9 events with them already. You guys may know who I'm talking about if you've seen the videos. But yeah, and I even take advantage of that. I film, I have the person who booked me, she's a sweetheart. She came and visited me even at Disneyland, right, to come say hi. I have her walking around with the camera, taking videos of me and pictures of me and stuff while I'm doing my thing. They post it on their social media. I post it on my social media. It's a nice little give and take. And on top of that, I'm getting paid my rate for the 3 hours that I'm there to do this event that they booked me for as a one-off event. They don't have me in the restaurant as a regular magician that does like a weekly thing, but they have me at their restaurant when they need me there. And the best part is it's a mutual relationship where I'm getting paid my full rate and they are making money on top of it too. So whenever you're pitching your restaurants, if the manager ever says, you know, having a magician here every week, it's not something that's in our budget, it's not something that, you know, we really think we want or whatever, you can let them know, you know what, that's totally fine, but just know I am a working magician that you can hire on one-off events. If you offer that service whenever they book out that space, you could say it's an additional charge. And if you want, you can even give them a little discount. You can say, normally I charge $1,200, but for you, I'll do it for like $800 or whatever, right? For 3 hours instead of the full $1,200 or whatever your rates are, right? So you can encourage them, say, yeah, and you can charge them the $1,200 and then you just keep that $400 off the top, or you could charge them whatever you want, right? You could charge them $2,000 or $10,000, whatever you think that the client will pay in addition to have the magician there, and then I'll show up and I'll do my thing, right? So that's another thing that you can do as well. Now, the last thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is making your offer unique, because 9 times out of 10, when a magician comes to a restaurant, what do? They do walk around magic and they perform for the guests at the tables, they collect their check and they leave, right? Now, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just what most magicians do. And in fact, that's exactly what I teach you guys to do in that 3-part series that I told you about before. Now, I took a different approach recently, and I'm working with another restaurant now, which is a sort of high-end Irish pub, right? It's not your standard Irish pub. It's a really nice restaurant. They have a speakeasy in there. They have all sorts of entertainment going off constantly. And when I approached the manager, I didn't approach them with, hey, I want to do walk-around magic in your restaurant. I approached them with, look, you have a beautiful restaurant, right? The food is amazing. You have so many, you know, regulars that come in, and it's a really awesome place where people congregate. You already have a ton of really cool entertainment and stuff. But I think it would be really cool to do a magic night. And when I say magic night, I don't just mean the magician roams around and does magic. I mean, think Magic Castle, right? People come in, they're excited because they are there to have magic night, right? So a little bit of walk around maybe during cocktail hour to get people warmed up and excited, and then a main show right behind the bar where the whole restaurant can see me. We'll put the videos up on the screens so everyone in every corner of the restaurant can see exactly what I'm doing. If someone is there celebrating a birthday, or if you had someone rent out the space for like a wedding reception or whatever, we can have the bride and groom come up and do something really cool, or the birthday boy or girl can come up and do something really cool, and we can make it really special for them. And they even have a speakeasy section in the restaurant. You go into this like old, like English looking kind of phone booth thing. You close the doors to the phone booth, you put in the passcode like where the phone is, and then the wall opens up and there's a whole nother section in the smoking lounge / speakeasy, which is like a members only section. And then I could even go in there and do something special for them as well. And the owner absolutely loved all of this stuff. And on top of that, he even made a suggestion to me. He's like, why don't we figure out what we can do in the restaurant to make things just kind of magically happen when you're here, right? And he's like, I don't really have any ideas right off the top of my head, but he's like, you know, think outside the box. Like I point at this light bulb and it bursts into flames or something. Now, obviously, with restrictions to the things that we could do, fire codes and safety and blah, 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 right? But his point is wouldn't it be cool to do something like that? So I came up with the idea, and this is something that they already really have built into their restaurant, but I came up with the idea, you know, like I'm at the bar and the bartender knows me, right? And someone orders a pint of Guinness at the bar, and he could be like, oh, you know what? Like I'm all out of Guinness. And I look at the bartender and I go, you know what? Don't worry about it, CJ. I got you. And I just do the magic move, and then his pint of Guinness just fills up. And then I give him his Guinness and I say, don't worry, my friend, this one's on the house. It's for you, right? And how cool is that? Making it like a whole thing. having things interact with you while you're at the restaurant. Now, that isn't the easiest thing to do, especially if the owner doesn't want to spend any money on altering anything. Lucky for me, the owner that I'm working with, he said I have access to a woodsmith, I have access to carpenters, I have access to prop builders, I have access to painters, artists, whatever you need. We can design it as long as you let me know, give me a method. You come up with the method for it and, draw it on the cocktail napkin or whatever you can so I can see what it's supposed to be, and I can run it by my people and we can see if we can make it happen. So I'm very fortunate in that aspect to be able to do some stuff like that. So right now we're coming up with some cool ideas for the restaurant, things that magically just happen like that while I'm there on Magic Night, and it really is going to make Magic Night a thing rather than just come to this restaurant because every Thursday a magician is walking around and he'll come to your table and do magic. So that's just a few ideas for you guys. I hope that you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed this video and you guys want to see more just like it, please, I encourage you to click the subscribe button if you haven't already, and don't forget to ring the bell because I really think that there's some awesome stuff on this channel. Feel free to binge my Advice for Magicians videos. Those are the videos that I really enjoy doing the most, because I think that you guys have a lot of questions, and I may or may not have all of the answers or even the correct answers, but I do have enough experience under my belt that I think some of the things that I have experienced and lived might be interesting for you guys, and who knows, you may take some of those things, put them into practice for yourself, and may find that they're beneficial for you too. If you want to support the channel, for just $1 a month, you can become a mob support member, and it'll just help me fund the channel, keep this channel going. If you want access to the tutorials playlist, you want to learn some of my original creations, become a mob squad member. That's only $5 a month. And you can even become a mob boss. The mob boss tier is $99 a month. You'll get access to all of that stuff that we talked about earlier. You'll get early access to videos, you'll get to tutorials, you'll get a live shout out right here on the channel, and you'll even get one-on-one Zoom sessions with me where we can learn new magic, or you can ask me questions about things you're already working on, or maybe you want me to help you take your career to the next level so you can go out and start earning some money as a professional working magician as well. All of that, all you have to do is just click the join button, choose the tier that you like. I'll see you guys on the other side. Michael O'Brien here. Have a good one, everyone.